Good morning and welcome in, everyone. Before we get into this morning's update, let's go over a few different things that we see in the cryptocurrency market. As we can see, Bitcoin's up 580 bucks right now. We're up to 97,119. We have XRP sitting right around $2.22. We've got to get past that $2.29 mark to start pushing up and out. And until we get past that area, we've got one of two areas we must get past to start this going in a more bullish direction. We've got to get past in real time. Oh, this got pulled down a little bit. That's not accurate. Hold on one sec. So we've got to get past in real time as it continues on. See, it's coming lower here. It was 229, 230 up there, but now as we continue to go on, we're talking like 225. And then I guess it has come down that far now. 225 and 240 now are the 2 points we need to get past to push out more parabolically. And then we would have to push past that $2.65, which is that very important area. That's a pivot layer. If we go back in time and we look at the Elliot waves and its history, generally what we've taken in 2014 when we got into the wave 4 correction, before we had to push past for wave 5, it took about 3.5 years from 2013 in December all the way to November of 2016. So about 3 years, I should say. 3 years in that regard. And then the next time we had a wave 3 or wave 4 corrective, it took all the way from December of 17 all the way, and you can come down here until 2020. So, I mean, it took a couple years. So now we look at wave 4, which we're in right now. We've been about 6 months, 5 to 6 months now. And we talked yesterday, like if we pull it out, you could do that. But right now we're going to see if this is a wave 4 that's already been finished, but it seems like it's early. To me, it seems early. If we go back into the past history, it would take us out until at least sometime in 27, mid to late 27, maybe early 28, if we played out in the same kind of consolidation. So we could have a pretty hefty consolidation. So it's just something we're going to have to pay attention to. I'll continue to watch the Elliot wave. We'll continue to consider the past history and the future results and how long it might take for this to actually pan out. But with that being said, good morning. 8:57 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Friday, May 2nd, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. Tanya, if you're watching out in the sphere somewhere, I want to wish you and offer up my truest condolences to you. Tanya is one of our most popular members here. Her brother unfortunately passed away very unexpectedly. So we'll give her grace, we'll say prayers, and hopefully we'll see you in the future sometime down the road. I know it's going to take time, and we just hope that we'll see you down the road. On a personal note, my aunt passed away late Wednesday night. So this weekend's going to be a little hit or miss. I have a few funerals to go to, and Monday will be the rest. So try to get through the trying time. I was saddened to hear Tanya's brother passed away as well, and it's just heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to hear. But let's try to take care of business the best we can. Bitcoin's up $666. They did a 97,201. Still looking fine. Engulfing candle. Weekly was a weekly engulfing candle, super bullish for the week. And we still have a technical target at 99,631. We have not quite filled out yet. But we still have time. There's 2 more days left in this candle, and it looks like we're hot right now. Daily time frames engulfing. If we pull this out to maximum capacity, this should come back up to 109 and retest the all-time highs, unless we get some kind of short-term rejection. Yes, we're going into a weekend, and we know this entire year it's been pretty bearish. Last week was pretty neutral for the first or second time of the year. But we haven't had any big breakouts. And this would be weekend number 19 now for this year. And so far, it's been pretty downhill. Can this be the the weekend that changes into a very bullish push. It very well could be. It could be. Now we're going to need to see a lot of carry through here. But right now, Bitcoin's still trying to put up some volume. Or I mean, not volume, but it's trying to put up some positive price appreciation. If we go into the bullion market, gold's only up about 12 bucks. You've got silver pretty flat this morning. Up about 6 cents to 32.44. Commodities are up and down, left and right, side to side. But cryptocurrency right now, it is getting a little bit of a bid. Some are up, some are down. DGB's down 2.6%. I know somebody in the Telegram asked me about the ZBCN, what it needs to get over, or for its breakout. And like right now we're attempting, we were up to this resistance area right at 142. If it breaks over that, that's a great sign, and then we could start pushing up towards that 2-0. But if it were to break down, if you lose that 1-1 level, then you invalidate the structure, and then you'd probably come all the way back down to 8-4. And if that breaks, if 8-4 breaks, then you have your, if that's a bearish pennant, then you would have a bigger problem. But right now it's trying to break out. So we'll see. The weekly looks good. But, you know, we have to see some follow through here. But right now there are signs that the market could start to get hot. It's just it hasn't pushed through that key resistance area as of yet. And risk assets, you know, they remain just that. Risky as all hell, but no risk, no reward. And in a risk asset, most of the time you have the most reward out of anything, especially if it gets hot. Obviously, you have the biggest risk of a drop, you know, assuming that it doesn't find the volume and things like that. But right now, we're not in a bad position. I've seen much worse positioning in my time in crypto. XRP market cap's up about 0.4% to 129.9 billion. Up about 485 million on this last day of the trading week on Friday morning. Crypto, fortunately for us, never sleeps, but the rest of the market will for a couple days. Again, we're trying to bounce off of 129.29 billion. This is one of those two ways it can take, and if it does, we could get very hot. Nice inverse head and shoulders, looks like it's set up. We tested the inverse right arm on the pattern breakout. And now we're trying to hold support now at that pivot layer of 129.29 billion. And if we hold that, it's going to get pretty hot. The XRP Bitcoin pairing is teetering in the wrong direction. Doesn't mean it's going to break down, just means that it has to get a little bit of help. And it needs a reversal. Otherwise, you start to look at the lower boundaries. If this does turn into some kind of topping reversal, one could argue that it could find its way all the way back down there. I don't know if it'll come all the way back down, but I could see it coming back down to the wick exhaustion at 1933. Now that's going to be determined if we lose the daily time frame, though. We're going to have to come below that 224 level. 224 level holds, we're looking hot. Once that level breaks, well, then you can start talking about that wick exhaustion, and worse if it breaks below that. But as it is, doesn't look horrible. Doesn't look horrible right now. I always get a little anxious when we get towards the weekend, and especially during the week, the trading week. We know when it gets through 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is only about a half hour, that's when the stock market opens. So, like, no matter where you live in the USA, if you're a trader, it's unfortunate on the West Coast that it's at 6:30, but you have to be prepared, and that's the choice we make by where we live. Some of us were born where we are, so, you know, but that's the choices that we have to, or that's the decisions we'll have to deal with. Do I want to get up early and watch the market on the West Coast, even if I don't have to go to work? How you doing? Fuck. So those are just decisions we have to make when it comes to when you want to trade, and if you want to get up and watch it. I mean, for me, if I lived in Pacific Standard Time, I would be getting up at that time. I already usually get up by 7, so I'm already up anyhow. On the East Coast, that's only 4 o'clock in the, you know, in the West Coast. But, you know, I live in Michigan, so, like, the stock market doesn't open until 9:30. So there is a little grace, especially, you know, you get to kind of see things work out as you woke up. But that's where I get the most anxious in the mornings, is around 9:30 a.m., 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, because that's usually when we get the most volatility. If we've been going up, it sometimes will drop. If we're having a neutral, sometimes it's the best time to see that volatility. So I'm going to leave it there. I got a lot of stuff to do, a lot of planning to do with the funeral and whatnot and things like that. So have a blessed day, everybody. We'll do the short soon at about noon, and then I'll try to do the live tonight. It's going to be a little chaotic and different this weekend, but once we get past Monday, everything should be back to normal. I'll still be doing my content. It's just going to be in a different pace, and it might be in a different way. So have a blessed day. Don't forget to give thanks to your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and embrace and take advantage of this day. Give the Lord the grace and do something spectacular today. Learn, teach, resolve. Do something to get in a positive but spiritual mindset and help and give and take advantage of the day. Prove to the Lord that we deserve each day we get. Stay graceful.